have you lived in your life, Mr. Vertuno?
Oh, well, I lived in Chicago. That was nice. We grew up in the Chicago area. And we lived in southern Illinois for a couple of years. But Tallahassee's been one of the most interesting places. We've really enjoyed it. We're glad we came down. A lot of things to do here. And of course, we're both in education here, so we have a wonderful connection with the community.
Are you married, and do you have any children?
Yes, I am married. I'm married to a delightful lady who taught French in the high school. I was teaching English, and of course French and English always merge, so it was kind of a natural hooking up. And we have 2 children, 2 boys. One lives here in town, my oldest son Edward. He handles sound equipment and serves a lot of the events in Tallahassee, and with his experience in handling the sound and music at such events. And my other son lives in Austin, Texas, and he's a reporter for the Associated Press, although he took his degree at Florida A&M University in journalism.
What area is your college degrees in?
Well, my bachelor's degree was in English, and my master's degree was in English education, and my doctor's degree was in administration, education administration. That's how I became a principal.
What made you decide to go into education?
Well, I tell people that I really decided to become a teacher of English when I learned that you could get paid for reading books. My folks didn't quite understand it, but I loved to read, and I discovered I could teach and read at the same time, and it was nice. And I stayed with it, and I learned, of course, other things about it.
What's your all-time favorite book?
My all-time favorite book is The Iron Duke by John R. Tunis. It was one of the first books I read that I liked that wasn't a textbook, and it was about a guy at Harvard University who was trying to make the track team, and he was successful, of course, because of the way the story went. But it just inspired me. I read more of his books, and that got me going, and from then on I never turned back.
Please tell me about your childhood.
Well, one thing that I remember about my childhood, especially during World War II, is we lived in an apartment building, and down the way was the telephone company. And the girls in the telephone company at that time were operators on the telephones. And they would drink a lot of Coke every day, and then they'd put the Coke bottles up in the window at the back of their place so that my buddy down the street and I could collect them and take them back to get 2 cents a bottle of a deposit. So we began to earn money that way, and he got there first and bought the first bike with what he earned, taking those bottles back, and then I got it and bought some baseball gloves and stuff with it. It was just so exciting.
What was the most interesting thing that happened to you while you were a special agent in the military?
I served in South Korea and did a lot of work along the border between North and South Korea. In fact, one day I was traveling with my interpreter along the DMZ, and we turned a corner and noticed we were suddenly in the middle of a whole lot of Chinese soldiers. I thought, oh my God, we've been invaded. Then I calmed down and realized there were South Koreans in costume doing some maneuvers.
If you could tell your younger self advice, what would it be?
You only have one chance in life, and it's best you choose the right choices as you go along, even though they may be hard, but they're the way to go, not the easy way. And don't ever let yourself be talked into some shaky problem with the idea that, oh, you'll be rewarded, because it almost always ends up in a disaster. Be true to what you know is true. And there's nothing like the 10 Commandments to give you a good guideline.